So, hello. Welcome to a very relaxed and probably quite short Saturday evening stream. I'm Danny. My pronouns are they. And I'm having a fantastic Negroni right now, a cocktail. Because I managed to get my hands on a absolutely fabulous vermouth. So it tastes really well. Anyway, this stream is first because, like, for me, it's an easy thing to do, so I can sort of unwind while just streaming. And Islander is a really cute game with no like hectic gameplay, and you don't have a time limit or anything. And it's just cute, and the sound design is fantastic. And also, last time I streamed this, and when I streamed this morning, I was only able to output like 15 FPS or something like that. It was horrible. So at first I was like, oh, my graphics card, a Radeon RX 550, it's on the cheaper side, and it was like a mid-range kind of graphics card a couple of years ago. So all right, it can't handle an indie game like this because of polygons. Turns out no. Turns out I was gaming in like 4K or something like that, so my graphics card was like, I don't know what to do with this. So now it's just regular HD. I monkeyed with the resolutions, so hopefully this will be viewable and actually pleasurable to the eye. Anyway, I'm just gonna start gaming and say hello in chat. And what else? If this is your first time here, first of all, hello and welcome. And secondly, do hit the follow button. Would make me really happy. Anyway, back on this island. Right. So this is a really interesting island, I think, because you can work with like multiple tiers here and work with height in a very neat way, probably, and there's a lot of real estate. Can't find a statue, though. There's no statue. Okay. There's a gold mine, though, so I know that I want to center, like, my mansions here. Or actually, the perfect play would probably be to have my mansions and stuff, like, right here, because then I could put a temple right on this edge. Mm. Oh, right, I get to place my own statues. Oh, heck yeah. This is cool stuff. Dang it, now I have to plan this really well. I got 3 statues. They don't like each other, do they? No, 25 points. So essentially I want to place out 2 statues to make it to the next tier and then decide. These should be really central. I should put 1 here. Right, so, okay, I got it. I want my temple here. Right over this here place. So I want to place a statue so that the temple will definitely touch it. And then I want a statue up here, and that will not damage the point output. And then also probably a statue right around here. Yeah, that would be great. So, statue. And you're good to go here, aren't you? Yes, you are. Honestly, I just need to place one of them. This is some really good real estate as well. And you can work with the walls. And if I put you here and you over here, then I could have buildings here in the middle that can grab all of them. But no, I'm just gonna... This is probably really bad placement. Because over here, this is where the mansions are gonna go, 100%. But where to put houses? It's quite a conundrum, to be honest. You know what? Actually, I'm gonna hedge my bets and put a lot of statues in this here area. Or am I? Because this is gonna be like a huge sprawling thing. No, you know what? There's gotta be a statue up here. Because I want to put... I should honestly build like houses and mansions down here. And then put like industry up here, especially the market. Because the market has a huge reach. And I should also really just get on with it. So, cool. This will be a... This is a fantastic place for a statue. Let's put you right down there. This is always bricks. I like the brick industries. Okay. So I would like... Okay, so change of plans. I think the mansions are gonna go here, actually. So, screw the gold mine. Because the thing is, I want temples and masons in close proximity to each other. So maybe I want to place down another statue. Like right here. Damn it. Yeah, no, you know what? I'm not going to play optimally, because that's... Who would even do that to themselves? Statue here, maximize points. Cool, cool, cool. Brick industry goes here. And the resort oasis can go over here. And I can have a lot of gardens here, probably. Or here. Doesn't really matter. But let's start working on that industry. Just don't like sand pits. Screw it. I'm just gonna keep these as far away as possible. Industry can go over here. Because there are gonna be no civic buildings here. Except for maybe a shaman, but that's not really a civic building. Regardless. Perfect. Two city centers. Can I get this city center to touch all three statues? Yes, I can. Hi! How's it going? Because right now the FPS is doing alright, isn't it? It says right here that I'm streaming in 60 FPS. No, I mean, I'm happy for you, but at the same time, like, man, that's rough. But congratulations on getting a job. In this economy, am I right? Did you get that that government gig that you were going for? Mm. Where are you at then? Oh, I think I applied to a couple of those jobs too. How is how is that treating you? I mean, it's your first week, so it's hard to say, obviously, but well, that's 5 months that you don't have to worry about worry about a paycheck. I'm so happy for you. And I mean, that's a really good employer to have on your resume. They are a no-nonsense company. Or whatever they are, technically. Yeah, because my contract runs out on New Year's, so I'm also in the market looking for jobs again. I spent a considerable amount of time yesterday printing out animal pictures for the perfect. Hell yeah! It's all right. I mean, chances are that they're gonna offer to re-employ me, depending on what Socialtjänsten decides on sponsoring, because nonprofits apparently don't get any information about what kind of government money they're gonna get until like it's worded as at the very least in February, which means probably like at the end of February or middle of January, which means that no one can do a budget because they do not know how much money they will have. And that is some real ass horse shit, if you ask me. Yeah, I love that. I love that for all of us. It's great. Just kidding, we all wanna die. It's no, it's honestly quite stressing. You know, who would have thought? And I 100% cannot, like, I can't fathom, like, how would they even motivate that? I mean, like, internally, for themselves. I mean, there are so many nonprofits operating in Sweden. And, I mean, like, that do a lot of work that they can't do. So, like, for instance, the support groups that I work for, there are no government agencies that sort of can anonymously, or maybe they are, but they are way underfunded. No agencies that can sort of talk to young kids and sort of just let them vent. So yeah, it's it's a whole thing for sure. Yeah, you like masons, don't you? Yeah, I like to think of it as like spitballs. You know, like if you chew a piece of paper and you sort of press it into a ball. It feels like it's a big old spitball that's been rolling for a while now, and they're just like got no other solution than to, spit some more. Have you seen this game before, by the way? Yeah, exactly. It's too big to stop now. And I feel like there are so many boomers right now that are gonna that are heading into retirement. So they're like, someone else will deal with it. So this is Islanders. Um, it's a minimalist, like at the surface level, it looks like it's a city builder, right? Because you plop down buildings. But whereas in most city building games, you sort of have to manage revenue and like work on taxes and resources and shit like that. This game doesn't have any of that because at its core, it's a puzzle game. So the game essentially takes place over several boards. So like every island is a board. And when you have enough points, the next island or the next level is unlocked. You get points by placing down buildings. And you're essentially dealt like a deck of cards or like a hand when it comes to buildings. So you start off with, you get like 3 statues. And each statue gives you a couple of points when you plop it down. And as you gather points, this little thing fills up. So every time it makes a revolution, every time you reach the next sort of milestone, you get to choose from 2 sets of different buildings. So for instance, this last time I got to choose between like a brewer's pack and a farming pack. And those heavily influence how you play because they do different things. Let's take lumberjacks, for instance. So you can see here that a lumberjack gives you points for every tree, statue, and sawmill that it's in the vicinity of. And if it's in the vicinity of another lumberjack, you get a -6 point. So you can see here the red numbers obviously deduct points, and the yellow numbers give you points. So depending on where I place this, I could either get like 14 points, or I could probably get like a 5 if I place it really, if I'm not playing well. So all of these buildings sort of influence each other that way. That they like some buildings, they dislike other buildings. So it becomes a question of space management. At the same time, you need to make short-term gains, because if you run out of buildings, the game is over. So you need to keep accumulating points to sort of draw more cards. But at the same time, you can't just plop down buildings willy-nilly. Yeah, it's a really interesting game, and it's deceptively simple. Or like, on the surface level, it's deceptively simple, but this game goes deep. Especially in the later levels, where they really sort of limit the space that you get. Anyhoozle. Right, so I got a brewery. Brewers like hop fields, but I'm gonna hold off on placing it because I think I'm gonna get more hop fields in the future. So I'm gonna just place down some mansions. because I've placed city centers and a statue close to each other, which means that the mansions will get a lot of points. So mansions benefit from other mansions and a lot of like luxury buildings, but they have a really short range. As you can see, the blue bubble. But you can get a lot of points. I should start plopping down houses. Or should I wait until I have like gardens and shit? I should probably hold off on houses too. Let's do mansions. They're cheap. Or a cheap way to get money. See, now I get to choose. I'm gonna go with a shaman. Shaman love flowers and nature and hate everything else. So industry buildings, city centers, all of that jazz, they just hate it. However, almost every other building gets massive points from being close to shaman. Holy moly, that's 53 points. Alright, so I guess I'm starting a city center here later on. Because I'm gonna place down 2 shaman, and I'm just gonna, or shamans. I'm gonna place down 2 of them, and just tank that negative modifier. Because minus 13 points, that's nothing when you get 53. That's marvelous. Fishers are also interesting because they have a massive range, but they hate each other, and they get really high points for statues and city centers. And I believe that huts also like fishers. So if I can start placing huts up here, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's let you live here. More hot fields. Woo! Sure, you can go here. And I want these babbies as close to each other as possible. Don't really care about the cost because I got a lot of buildings to choose from. Could get rid of the brick industry, but I'm gonna wait until I got a warehouse. A warehouse is a shack that grows bigger when a full moon is shining. Subscribe for more awesome comedy. Yeah, exactly. Now we're cooking with gas. Fountains also give a heck of a lot of points. But yeah, they have greater range than the mansions. So I'm gonna keep placing mansions and sort of try and expand them around where a fountain will eventually go. But I want to keep them close still, because there's going to be a temple here someday. Can you fit here? No, you cannot. You don't want to hang out here? Okay. I've been nagging about this for like, to anyone who wants to listen. I've been talking about this the past, well, 24 hours or so, because yesterday was the first day I could roll or wrestle, because I've been for a very long time, because I've been sick, and also had samples taken from a tumor that I got, so I've been sort of immobile for almost like 3 weeks, more than 3 weeks probably. But I could get back to wrestling yesterday, and there was this guy, this middle-aged guy. Surprise. Everyone who's surprised could go ahead and leave a exclamation point in chat, I guess. This guy, beginner, which is fine. Everyone has been a beginner at some point. It's really good. Love beginners. What I don't like is the combination of guy who needs to explain everything even though he really doesn't have the competence to understand the nuances in what we're doing, and BJJ beginner. Because when these dudes, and oftentimes they're dudes, when they think that they've got shit figured out, but they still lose, they start doing dumb shit. Like, if a beginner notices that they can't really they're losing their breath and stuff, they'll start flailing and sort of using all of their strength to just sort of make erratic, I don't want to say the S word, but like really, unpredictable and sudden movements, which is not a good thing when you're in a full contact combat sport. And this dude probably had like 10 kilos on me as well, so it was like, god damn it. I felt like he could probably hurt me if he didn't take care. So we were doing something called positional sparring, where we have practiced one position. In this case, it was a back mount, which is essentially you ride your opponent as kind of like a backpack, and it's a really good position to be in because you can control them and you sort of have really good access to like chokes and stuff. Yeah, right. I love it when men. That should be a fucking t-shirt. Anyway, so we're positional sparring, right? And he starts having my back, which means for 2 minutes I'm just gonna try and escape a back take, and as soon as I escape, we reset. And this dude just goes for my collar and tries to choke me, and like, it's not a choke that's gonna actually choke me out, it just hurts. So I'm like, fucking hell. And when I sort of start working my escapes, he sort of like tosses me over him in a way doesn't work for anyone, because I could escape fine. This goes on for 2 minutes, and I'm just like, please, for the love of fucking Christ, could you chill for 1 second? But that's not the worst thing. The worst thing is that, like, okay, I understand if you don't really understand the game, and if you're in a panicky situation. I mean, at the start of every BJJ journey, that is really taxing, and it takes a while to get used to it, which is fine. That is why I also, which I did with this person, when I roll with someone that I haven't seen before, I haven't trained with before, whom I know is a beginner, I always let them set the pace. So I don't go 100%, because that would be a real dick move. So I don't go 100%. I sort of like, I work my techniques, but I don't like go immediately for chokes. I sort of let them sort of get a feel for me too, because it's a really intimate thing, so you need to be able to trust each other. But this person like had no fucking chill, and he would explain to me, like, after I escaped, he would be like, that was a really good one, nice job, but like in a very sort of pat on the head kind of way, which I was just not having any of that. So when it was my turn, having his back for 2 minutes, instead of being the polite fucking doormat that I usually am, I just tossed all of that out the window. I was not being a good role model, because in 2 minutes, I choked him out 3 times and attacked an armbar once. So 4 submissions in 2 minutes. I even got to an armbar from his back, which was, my coach was like, how the fuck did you do that? And I don't know, it's kind of cathartic in a way to just sort of, you know, be like, this is my limit, and it's a hard limit, so you can just, you know. Anyway, long story short, sports. But yeah, I too love it when men. Yeah, sport ball. You know what it is. You know you gotta score more than your opponents, I think. I don't fucking know what's even up or down on a football. Even though I did handball. Like, I played handball for probably like a solid 2 years in secondary school. And I was horrible at it because I did not want to be there. And I mean, this is not going to turn into the fucking Joe Rogan podcast or anything, but like, jiu-jitsu, it's fun. It's like playing chess with your body when you play with people, or like when you roll with people who know what they're doing. You gotta be strategic. There was this, I forget the name of the comedian, but there was this one stand-up comedian who, I've seen like one clip of the person online, but they talk about like what it's like being in your 30s, upper 30s, starting BJJ. And I don't know, he phrased it in such a like it's such a good way. What's the thing? Like after a class, like one of the younger guys comes up to him and goes like, "Are you okay? You're panting really hard and like it looks like you're gonna pass out." And he's just like, "Nah, I'm good. For 1 hour, for 90 minutes, you have been trying to choke me, and I've been trying to not get choked, and it's so refreshing to have like one concrete problem to deal with." And I feel that. I feel that so hard. It's literally my experience, like being a burnt out, depressed ass person going to training, like being happy to to have concrete problems to look forward to that you can actually solve. Finally, new buildings. This is another fun idiosyncrasy of the game that is 100% not intended, but it's a real way to get a lot of money. The plateaus, they behave strangely. You can clip them into mountains and sort of wiggle them into places where they really shouldn't be able to go. So hopefully I can clip this pure. You know what? Screw it. No, I can't. Oh, I can't take it back. One mission, not choke. Exactly. That actually describes like 80% of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. It's like that, you know the stonks meme? It's kind of like that. No choke. Hi! Good evening. It's so nice to see both of you. It does, doesn't it? I figured out what the problem was, both with this game and Salt and Sanctuary. It's not necessarily that my graphics card is weird. It's more like I was trying to game at 4K and have multiple monitors up and stream it at the same time. Which, you know, My graphics card is okay for like a mid-ranged. It's a mid-range graphics card that can do like HD, standard HD, which I'm playing in right now. Can do it just fine. Um, my software tells me that I'm streaming at 60 FPS, and sure looks like it. But let me know if it's unwatchable again. So, by the way, LKG, you saw this before, like in previous islands or well, previous boards. Having placed down this many buildings would have gotten us to the next level already, but I'm almost like halfway there, I think. So I really need to be more strategic with how I'm placing buildings. I want to throw down a circus right here. And also, I experienced the same thing with... So, the developers of this game has made another game, or they're developing it right now. It's called Dorfromantik, or Dorfromantik, which is similarly a puzzle game, but you're building out a hex map. It's adorable, I gotta show it to you. I was thinking of streaming it, but I'm not as good at it, so this is easier at the moment. Where should you live? Right? And there would be like one ferry run by a crotchety old fisherman. Yeah, exactly. And the crotchety old fisherman would be like, "Ah, you tourist, you give me your money, but oh, you get on my nerves as well." Because obviously the crotchety old fisherman is from Brooklyn. Or whatever, I disregard everything I say. Yeah, I mean, hello. Oh, you know what? The huts. The huts like it here. Andalusia. I ended up in a place like that when I was backpacking in Andalusia as a 21-year-old. Where is Andalusia? I feel culturally snowed in, as it were. Oh, you were backpacking on your own? Oh, that is ballsy. God damn it. Oh, the south of Spain, gotcha. There are worse places to be backpacking. I've only been to Portugal for like 2 weeks. Yeah, no, that is... Yeah, I forgot about that, sorry. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Because, like, when things are peaceful in those environments, they are fucking serene. Alright, so we got the thing turning into a regular house at night. At full moons, the warehouse. I'm gonna milk the fuck out of that joke. I should toss down a brewery, too. But then the circus won't. These are completely normal sentences, but I can't throw down my brewery there because then the circus won't have any place to go. I'm just gonna put... we could all do with some brick industries. A little brickyard. Like Andalusia is part of Spain, is part of the Spain that was ruled by a caliphate. Yeah, aka Arabic people the longest. So they have these awesome castle ruins with the best fucking gardens. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. The caliphate sure did know how to do that. Did you ever get to see the that BBC show, Monty Don's Italian Gardens? I know we've talked about it, but I was wondering if you had the time to take a look at. Oh, we haven't talked about that? Alright, so, okay. Strap in. You're gonna love this. So there's this person, right? This eccentric, middle-aged, very British person. Monty Don. And Monty Don, I have no other relationship to this person, but he loves gardens. Like, he loves gardens. Gardens are his special interest. And he's so enthusiastic about everything that has to do with gardens, especially French and Italian gardens. So, in some fucking way, he got the BBC to allow him to make a program where he essentially just gets to visit gardens all over Italy and talk about them. So every episode is Monty Don heading off to bumfuck nowhere, Italy, looking at some historic gardens. And he's like, oh, this is quite typical for the Baroque age and blah, 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 blah. And it's... Yeah, right? I also would have liked to get paid by the BBC to do stuff like that. But no, it's really wonderful. First of all, because, like, you get to learn so much, and there is so much more to a garden than just, like, the plants. It's most gardens that have survived the test of time. They were huge and grand political statements at the time. Like, some like baron in Italy was like, I don't have enough power. I should have as much power as the cardinal. I'm gonna display this by building this huge fuck-off garden. And, like, water features are the new hotness, so I'm gonna have all of the water features. But, I don't have any water. Let's redirect the river. So, like, the cardinal redirects the river that is providing water to, like, all of the towns or villages in the near vicinity, essentially turning them into deserts, just so he could have, you know, fucking cherubs shitting water as statues. You know, wholesome stuff. Yeah, kind of like Vestlänken. That was some topical humor for you. Make sure to like and subscribe. But it's really cool too because, like, there can be, like, in the program, Monty Don's Gardens, you can get, like, the same episode. The same episode could feature, like, two gardens that are physically in close proximity to each other, but chronologically far apart. So you could get to see like a Renaissance garden and a romantic garden at the same time, and they are so different. They are so different. And the way things are structured and what is considered beautiful, it's sort of like all of that is encompassed in the microcosm of like, well, I guess societal fashion, but like in the form of gardens. And I don't know, I cannot recommend those enough. Monty Don's Italian Gardens. That's the gamer pro tip of the day. You want to be a real gamer, you gotta watch some gardens. Otherwise, you're not a real gamer. There, I said it. And I will not apologize for it. Speaking of water features, that's like a big awesomeness of these Andalusian castle gardens. Do tell. I genuinely want to learn more about Andalusian castle gardens. Well, pretend that you're a white cis dude, a white cis het dude, and just, I don't know, pull something out of your ass. But like based on what you know or maybe don't know. You're gonna impress me. I don't know shit about it. This is where things get interesting. Can I even make a profit off of having a jeweler here? Yes, I can. Minus 20. Is that offset by the thing? Yes, it is. 10 points. Oh yeah, this is gonna work out just dandy. Warehouses. Their houses. Okay, so I remember hearing about Arabic gardens. So I remember hearing about Arabic gardens is that bringing in moving water is like a staple of a big city center thing for it. Oh, so it's like you want to be a real town? Show us your water feature. That's not what I meant. Okay, yeah. It's fine. I'm also almost done with a wonderful cocktail, so I'm not, you know, my reading it's usually quite poor, but, you know, it's poorer right now. Oh yeah, 70 points. I like that. That's awesome. Because you were worried about having a cold, weren't you? I'm so happy you got to do that. I'm so happy for you. Honestly. Oh, would you look at that? Perfect planning god gamer. I'm racking up so much. So many points here. And I haven't even touched this part right here. Oh my lord. Also, I find that this time of year is really good for running. Like, sure, the weather is ass, and the sort of ground you run on is, you know, just a big old steaming turd pile if it's been raining. But it's really good. Yeah, I really think so. There's something about like the moisture in the air that that is like crisp at the same time. And also like if you get out when it's dark, it's kind of cozy in a way. And if you get out like if you manage to catch like those 3 minutes when the sun's up, you get some sunlight. And all around, just good stuff. Just good old stuff. It's probably a really bad idea to keep expanding here, but I made my choice. 10 points for a mansion, that's laughable. I should start prepping for a resort oasis somewhere. But I'm not gonna. Because I'm an adult and I can do whatever the heck I want. Have you ever heard about a castle called Alhambra? Alhambra. No, can't say I have. Why am I placing gardens? That's such a worthless move to be making right now. I should be placing warehouses. And sand pits. There we go. You have the perfect range. Are you kidding me? Oh, that is so good. I could even put you right here and you'd still make a... Holy crap. 42 points and still close to a city center? Jeezy creasy. I'll take it. Technically, it might be more of like a palace, but La Alhambra is a UNESCO World Heritage thingamajig, right? It's the pinnacle of these things. Okay. It's located in Granada, which was like the last city conquered by the Roman Catholics. Oh, hello. Oh, look at that placement. Look at that placement. I get all the houses. I can even get 2 statues. I'm just gonna, for the hell of it, I'm just gonna plop down a brewery right heckin' here. Because you're gonna be within range, aren't you? Where are you? There you are. You are... You're gonna be within range. Look at that. Come on. 65 points. No, I can milk more out of that. Oh, I got another city center. Holy crap. You can go... Where can... You can go here. That would be grand. Yeah, this is actually perfect. I don't know what it is, but this board is treating me so well. Temple, here we go. Oh, there are so many points to be had here. I want to hold off on placing the market for as long as possible, because that's just going to keep on giving us money. I think the circus is almost... Oh, I got another circus. Okay. Do you like markets? No. You like circuses, though. You do not. Alright, so I guess we're just going to keep on clowning up here. Yay, next level. What's, Did you have anything more about Alhambra? Alhambra? Alhambra. Alhambra. Yeah. Sorry, my eyes. Thank you. It's the most famous one, but a lot of, especially coastal cities in Andalusia, have castles and or castle ruins. This place just sounds better and better for each passing minute. Seaweed! I don't know why, but seaweed farms in this game just makes me happy for some reason. They are so heckin' cute. They're just really nice to visit and way less crowded because they're not a World Heritage. Oh! That makes a lot of sense. Sounds like you've hacked how to tourist. I can 100% see that though. I tend to try and do the same thing if I travel. Or I try to do the same thing when I travel. Which I don't anymore. Because it's been a while. Because it's like, it's the perfect way to experience it. Sort of look at all the tourist guide sites and stuff, and then just sort of, all right, so this is good in this city. Just find stuff that's similar but isn't listed in all these tourist guides. That was probably one of my favorite parts about about working as a what's it called, a language course, an abroad language school, whatever. That when the kids were in school, I had a lot of time to just sort of walk around the city and explore. So, I mean, obviously, it's not, take this with a grain of salt, but like I know a lot of nice places in Oxford that are not listed in any tourist pamphlets or anything. Anyways, one of the beauties is that they often bring in water like in these tiny streams along the walkways, and then they might end up in a pool or a fountain or something like that. Oh yeah, like a small sort of it's not like a brook, but like a small, well, I guess like a small brook, but like in the streets. Am I right? Will the market still fit here? It will not fit. So you're not gonna go there. Yeah, no, I hear you. I hear you. 100%. That's I think it's the same in München, in southern Germany, where I studied for a month or so. It's kind of like they run through the streets, or like at the side of streets. I feel like when it gets hot in the summer, that really helps to offset some of the heat. Oh, look at that. That is marvelous. So for everyone who is dropping in right now, first of all, hello and welcome to the stream. I'm Danny. My pronouns are they. And I am super happy that you're dropping by. I am playing Islanders right now, which looks like a city builder, but it's not like a conventional city builder like SimCity or City Skylines or something like that, because you don't really handle revenue. It's more like a deck builder in a sense, because you place down buildings, right? And the buildings accumulate points depending on what other buildings are in the vicinity. And when you get a certain amount of points, as indicated by these numbers right here, you get a sort of a new set of buildings to add to your hand. When you run out of buildings in your hand right here, the game is over. So it's a deceptively simple game, but especially at higher levels, it gets you got to be really careful where you place your buildings. This is one of the easier islands I find because there's so much space to play around with. Anyway. By the way, did you know a lot of so-called spaghetti westerns were filmed in Eastern Andalusia? I knew that they were filmed in like around the Mediterranean, but not specifically there. It does track though. What does the monument like? Temples and city centers and parks. Well, I got none of that going right here. This is a horrible map for monuments. Or I've made it a horrible map for monuments. I made it an okay map for towers, though. I should just plop down the market already and get it over with. I love that though. When I was talking before, there were like, I had like 5 viewers on the counter and I was like, hello and welcome, and like all of them left instantaneously. No, it's fine. It's actually quite hilarious. It's kind of like an enticing game to look at like stream statistics and stuff, and it's like even more enticing now because if I have one more viewer than I usually have, then that's like a 50% increase. So, you know, it really hits those dopamine receptors like, "Oh my god, look at how much the stream is growing," when like it's literally not. Fuck it. 124 points. That's respectable. Water plateaus. Now we're gonna start monkeying around with those. Sometimes I'm afraid I'm scaring people off by being in chat too much, but I'm guessing you don't care. First of all, I don't think that's true at all. You are a complete delight to be around. Secondly, if people get scared off by my friends, then they can just fuck off, I guess. No, but seriously though, I do not think that is true at all. Yes, you are. You're an absolute delight. What can I say? Like, you know, I've noticed that, you know, sometimes when people say nice things about me, my anxiety is just like, oh no, that's not true. But, you know, facts don't care about my feelings, and they don't care about your feelings either. You are wonderful. And that's just logic. You can't argue with that. Where are my science bros at? Yes! Tell me more shit about Spanish history. Hit me with that yum yum. Like, are you kidding me? This is a wonderful Saturday evening. I get to play Islanders chat with you and learn stuff. You have to pay money to get that kind of deal in most places. So there's this thing that I keep forgetting and keep re-remembering that I also wish more people knew. Go on. As in, that's enticing and I want to know more. Okay, now we are cooking with gas. Heckin' finally. Look at that, 235 points, one temple. If I can move you just slightly away from the warehouse, that would be fantabulous. Leave it there. 220 points. How much was it over here? That was 230, right? Wasn't it? $235, that's awesome. The city of Granada The last outpost of the Caliphate was conquered by Spanish Roman Catholics in 1492. Yes, I'm with you. Got another market? I can put a market over here, couldn't I? Wouldn't that be kind of cool? Would still not get the benefits. What about here? Still just in the wrong spot. I'll worry about the market later. Or I could just place it there for 100 points. They don't like markets though. Do markets like temples? They don't mind temples. Okay. I can work with that. That's totally fine. What if I put you right here? Oh, that is nasty. The building placement, that is. Okay, so Columbus, aka Cristobal Colon, or in Spanish, or Cristoforo Colombo in Italian, went on his first voyage to America in 1492. Oh yeah. The year that the genocide started in America. Oh, side note, if you want to learn more about Columbus, there's a really good video essay by Bad Empanada, B-A-D, Empanada. That is called, I think the title is something like Columbus Was Evil, actually, which is a really good source for, like, if you want to know more about Columbus, because Mr. Empanada, first of all, cites his sources really well. Secondly, he looks at a lot of primary material or primary literature in Spanish. So instead of like going to communistsarebad.com and reading whatever hack interpretation they've done, he like, all right, so what did Columbus say about this? Here are some excerpts from his diary. Yeah, so Columbus Was Evil, actually, it's one of the first videos on his channel. Go and buy him a cup of coffee. He's doing a really good job. I should probably try to learn more about the connections between these two processes, but like, okay. Also, no rush. I'm just reading out chat. I'm trying to get into the habit of doing that because I think it can be beneficial to people who, for one reason or another, can't access chat. You're a scatterbrain. Scatter? I hardly know her. Forget I said anything. That's... ugh. But what I wanted to get at is that the whole conquering business had been going on for a while. Yeah. Oh, is it because Chris was Italian? All things being the same, though, it's really funny that Columbus, being such a complete asshole, that his last name was actually Colon. I mean, that is 100% funny. That is comedy gold. It took a long time for the Catholics to conquer the Iberian Peninsula. Yeah. I'm gonna get this temple to 300 points. And I don't really care if I lose a heck ton of points because of that. I don't know why this is like... Regardless of, like, obviously I'm not playing for high scores right now. I'm just, you know... I'm just playing enough to have to strategize, I think. But for some reason, I really like sort of trying to maximize my temples. Well, fuck, I keep forgetting the names of these Spanish Roman monarchs. How dare you? And tried to Google Isabelle Felipe, and I just got results about Queen Elizabeth and Queen Prince Philip. Well, that's epistemological imperialism, isn't it? Another warehouse. Oh, right, I forgot. I was going to put a market there and make a fuck ton of monies, or points, but, well, I guess that side has gone right out the window. Epistemology is the discipline of studying knowledge, like what can be known and, like, how you acquire knowledge, I guess would be a simple way of describing it. So epistemological imperialism would be like, well, you try and learn stuff about Queen Elizabeth or Isabella of Spain, and the only thing that's available is information about the British monarchs. It was a very funny philosophy joke. Teehee. And also not really a joke, which I guess is just sad. We should do a we should do a value theory stream. No, it's just, you know how you get special interests and stuff? When I was doing my BA in philosophy, like, I was in practical philosophy, which is, like, I guess the easy way to describe it, because I only think, I'm not sure if other countries split philosophy that way, but in Sweden, practical philosophy is like the study of ethics and morals, and like, what is good, what is bad. Whereas theoretical philosophy would be like the study of logic and languages and epistemology and like what is the whatever. It's not necessarily concerned about what is good. like how to be a good person. Oh, it's just us, is it? Yeah, it's super weird. It's super weird. Because, like, what the fuck does that even mean? Yeah. Because, I don't know. Because the cards died here, and from then on, everyone has been salty. Great philosopher. Yeah, well, you got pneumonia here, sucker. How great is that? But yeah, so yeah, I was doing my my BA in practical philosophy, and this was during the time that I like had my, I was right in the middle of my political awakening. So I was like, oh hell, all the things that I've, like, I don't agree with the things that I was taught growing up, and oh my god, this is all problematic. And I was noticing a lot of problematic tendencies in the way that practical philosophy was taught, and like the practical philosophical canon overall. Anyway, so I I have developed an interest in meta-ethics or value theory, which is not necessarily like, to be good, you do this, that, or the other thing. Or to be good, you have like these sets of values. Like, that doesn't really interest me because I don't think that like theoretical or philosophy that is theoretical can answer that. I think that, you know, to do that, you have to view it through a lens of like gender studies or stuff, which is essentially philosophy for people who are interested in the world we live in currently, as opposed to just possible worlds. But so value theory or meta ethics is more about like, when you say that something is good, what does that mean? Like, what even is good? Like, regardless of what you have to do to be good, like, what does it even mean? Is it even possible to make claims about what is good or bad? Like, is it even possible for human beings to know what is good and bad? If it's possible for human beings to know what is good and bad, how would you reach that knowledge? Can it be observed? Can it not? Well, then how? Stuff like that. Which I find is so, I mean, I might be way off now, but that's kind of where a lot of urban theory jumps straight into. Oh, do go on. I love how all of these streams sort of start out with, this is a fun city building game, and then sort of ends up in like, and this is why capitalism is bad and Marx was awesome, kind of, sort of geared towards theory kind of talks. I love it. Not that we've said anything about that so far, but like, you know, one more island and then we'll be there. Because a lot of the basis for the activity of urban planning is an idea of there being a common good that we can work towards. Yes, 100%. So then you need to actually decide what a common good would be. Yes, I am picking up what you are putting down. In Swedish law, it's defined through what's called allmänna intressen, which is juxtaposed to enskilda intressen. So, the interest of the general, or like, yeah, interests of everyone and interests to individuals, I guess? Or is enskilda, is that like corporations and shit? Or shareholders, I guess. So stuff like clean air and housing are regarded as allmänna intressen. Okay, gotcha. Whereas like a conference center would be enskilda intressen. Or like a golf club. No, maybe that's... You know, never mind. I am straight talking out of my ass. Whereas enskilda intressen could be the rights of a property owner to pick what color to paint their house. Okay. But like, doesn't that impact allmänna intressen as well? Because everyone else has to look at the thing. Or am I taking it too far already? Okay, this island needs to chill. I'm just gonna start... I want to maximize this temple, though. Yes, sometimes the allmänna intresse of having like a good helhetsverkan and gestaltning can overrule the enskilda intresse. If you don't speak Swedish, by the way, this is unironically fascinating stuff, so you should probably either grab a dictionary or wait until I can be asked to put subtitles on this. We recently had a, in my opinion, good court ruling about a thing like this. That might make it a hell of a lot easier for municipalities to protect their cultural heritage. Oh! So like assigning more value to it? Kind of? Do you like fountains? You don't like fountains. You like fountains, though. I'm gonna build more mansions here because this is a point-grabbing thingamajig just waiting to happen. And it's not waiting anymore because I'm making it happen. More like in terms of what planning documents and stuff that is necessary to protect this kind of interest. Okay. Like removing red tape. Or yellow tape, I guess. No, red tape. That makes sense, because, like, a lot of things that are technically your right practically aren't, because, you know, it takes a hell of a lot of energy and resources, material and otherwise, to, well, navigate all of that. And it makes this thing I'm working on around now a lot more meaningful. That is good news. I am so happy that's the case. Because, like, if someone deserves to have meaning in their work, it's 100% you. It also makes it more politically risky because the place I work at is a very big on enskilda intressen being protected. Ah, okay. Yeah, so this would 100% fall within like practical philosophy or meta ethics. I feel. Which is a shame because like a lot of like postulates or axioms within that kind of tradition. Most of them are like motivated with the equivalent of like, if you think hard enough, you'll get it. Which to me is not satisfying as an answer, but worked for Kant. Yeah. I mean, like, oftentimes it's worded like that this, that, or the other thing is self-evident. Yeah, no, but you don't understand. They were men, right? So, and they usually had land. So, I mean, who the fuck am I to argue? My this is not gonna turn into the Danny bashes Kant for an hour stream, but the perfect example of this that really sort of captures the whole thing is Immanuel Kant's seminal work, Grundläggandet av sedernas metafysik, or The Origins of Practical Metaphysics, I think. I'm not sure about the English translation. I've only seen the German and Swedish one. Never mind. It's like a 150-page booklet or something like that, and it's the densest fucking text I've ever read in my entire life. Don't get me started on certain noble people who own a shit ton of land. The fucking nerve of the land gentry, and it's not even the municipality I work for. I hear you. Yeah, but Immanuel Kant. So, Immanuel Kant is regarded as one of the most influential philosophers in the Western canon. He wrote about essentially everything. He has books on, like, everything from what principles should guide you if you want to be a moral person, to what part of like the population should be allowed a vote, which could be like, he could differentiate between like shoemakers should be allowed to vote because they have this, that, or the other thing, but hairdressers, no, that's not enough for being allowed to vote because they don't own property or whatever the fuck. I haven't actually read his, like, I haven't myself read his societal works, but in practical philosophy, he is most famous for the formulation of the categorical imperative, which is a rule that essentially states that a maxim, meaning a rule for how to act or how to be, a maxim is morally just if and only if, I think he makes that that point, if and only if it can be elevated to a like a general rule, a rule that everyone should follow in every situation. Meaning, like, I don't know, the don't lie, because like if you can apply the don't lie rule to every possible situation and it would be good, that would be mandated by the categorical imperative. Anyway, so in this tiny booklet that I was talking about, where he postulates the categorical imperative, that all sort of, like, he derives all of that from essentially one sentence that is at the start of the book. The first sentence of the book, and I'm going to butcher the translation because I've only read it in Swedish, but the first sentence of the book is like, the one and only thing that is good, meaning morally good, without qualification, is the goodwill of man. Den goda viljan. And he doesn't really explain that. It's more of a, if you think long enough, you're probably gonna get this sooner or later. So if you accept that the only thing that is good without qualification is the goodwill of man, then the categorical imperative makes perfect sense because Kant makes it sound like it follows logically from it. But I don't think he actually explains where he got that from. And he was also a fucking race biologist and shit like that. He wrote a lot of stuff about people from all over the world and sort of did the whole taxonomy thing about human beings, even though he had literally never left his hometown. But enough of that twat. Let's listen to the sound of 300 and some points rattling into our collective purse. 338 points. Silence, please, and drum roll. Here we go. Wonderful. While it's pedagogically awful, I'm a big fan of Dunn's philosophy. Same. Like, really getting to sink your teeth into one of those tomes and understanding them. I haven't read Wittgenstein. I wanted to read Tractatus Logico-Philosophico for such a long time, but I've never gotten around to it. But, like, yeah, no, he's fucking fascinating. Yeah. If you haven't read David Hume's A Treatise on Human Nature, the third book, I think, that is also well worth a read. It's a lot of text and like footnotes that literally stretch across 2 pages, 2 full pages, but it's worth it. Yeah. I only know the last postulate from that work, from Wittgenstein. The whereof one cannot speak, thereof one must remain quiet. I use that a lot. Wovon man nicht reden kann, davon muss man schweigen. I think. Yeah, but yeah, Hume was a really interesting fellow, even though, like, as every sort of white rich person of his age, he was problematic in all of the senses. Yeah, right, because it's just like, it's 100 and something just not postulates, but like, it's essentially a long syllogism, isn't it? Thank you. That is, it literally means whereof one cannot speak, thereof one must remain quiet. Yeah, I wish I had more excuses to speak German. I really miss having that as like an active part of my life. Because German is literally one of the most beautiful sounding languages in the world. It's also a unnecessarily gendered language, which is one of the reasons that I haven't sort of gone out of my way to speak German. Even though I have found gender neutral personal pronouns in German now that, among others, Judith Butler uses. Which is essentially just like a plural. Like if you talk about many people, you say, sie machen dies oder das. They do this thing. Sie is also the feminine, the feminine article. So if you're a woman, you would be addressed with sie as well. But if you do it, you could address someone with sie, but use like the grammatical construct of the plural instead of a singular. And sort of that works without being too convoluted. And if it's good enough for Butler, it's good enough for me. I'm just placing buildings willy-nilly right now because, like, I've got so many points that it doesn't matter, and I just want to move on to the next island, but at the same time I kind of want to fill this out. Hey Mud, do you know about any, do you know of any philosophy clubs or like book clubs or shit like that in the vicinity of where we live? I have a lot of different dome-like buildings. Yeah, these are markets that I'm holding right now. And that's a circus, and this is a balloon, and this is a temple, the big temple on the platform. And this is a seaweed farm, one of my favorite buildings. And I want to place you as close to the other seaweed farms as possible without... There we go, that's perfect. Look at that, 26 points from one seaweed field. I'm happy with that. Seen some posters about that around, nothing that I can recall right now. Well, that's fair. I've been meaning to... I forget, there was some philosopher that I really wanted to read, but I forget who it was. I've been, like... Honestly, I've not been reading as much as I've intended to or wanted to, the last, like, year or 2 years or so, because of various reasons. But, like, whenever I've had the energy, I've been sort of tending towards reading anarchist theory or, like, classic leftist theory. Even though I'm not, like, I haven't even finished The Conquest of Bread yet, which is a good book. It's a highly depressing book, but it's really good. Senor Kropotkin knew what he was talking about. No, not more buildings, god damn it. Gosh heckin' darn it. There are too many buildings up in this island. You know what? Fuck it. I'm just gonna move on. I'm just gonna move on from this island. Here we go. Take your screenshots. From what I've heard, open philosophy book clubs are amazing at gathering strange assortments of guys. I will take your word for it, and I do not doubt it in the slightest. I mean, Jesus Christ, like, the philosophy courses were very adept at finding the weirdest people, including myself. Where's the shaman gonna go? Mandatory nihilist atheists, of course. Yeah. I mean, that's a given, isn't it? Goes without saying. That is just, no, dare I say, illogical. You'll want to hear their logical juxtaposition of values that is supposed to guide my work, most of my work according to the law. Yes! Juxtapose me, baby! Bestämmelserna syftar till att med hänsyn till den enskilda människans frihet främja en samhällsutveckling med jämlika och goda sociala levnadsförhållanden och en god och långsiktigt hållbar livsmiljö för människorna i dagens samhälle och för kommande generationer. What? Med hänsyn till den enskilda människans frihet? Främja sig? Huh. I don't know if you're done already, but I mean, like, that sounds like a recipe for not necessarily disaster, but at least weird justifications. Because, like, the first part is everyone should have the right to do whatever the fuck they... Oh, you're done? Really? Because, like, the whole thing about coming generations and... Yeah, right, it's like almost like an empty document. You can paint whatever coat you want on it, and it'll still make sense according to the law. Also, it sounds nice until you realize that it's a law that thoroughly premiers the rights of property owners. Well, yeah, that's exactly it, isn't it? Because, I mean, like, if it doesn't favor you, you should really have thought of that before you became, like, a poor person without property. Am I right, or am I right, fellas? Yeah, it's 100% Western liberalism in a nutshell. There is this infographic going around about how to privatize everything in the public sector. Like, you make cuts to save money, and then shit doesn't work because it's underfunded, so you allow some private actors to do their own version of it and profit from it, and that means that the public sector has to compete with that, so they get even stricter goals and less money because you still have to cut costs everywhere. And then the white middle class gets all pissed off because the public sector doesn't work, so that motivates even more privatization. And, well, and then you end up with a ostensibly social democratic party that only is it in name anything. Please let me run out of buildings. Here, jewelry shop. You can have a park. And this hilltop right here, that's perfect for a lumber mill. New public management is like those 3 words. They give me like nightmare words. Miljöbalken is such a lot of more umph in its portal paragraph, which is also why that's where most of our big problems come up at work. Yeah. Yeah, new public management can go suck an egg. And that's all the buildings. I mean, this turned out pretty okay. Like, I wasn't too concerned with how I was placing stuff, but apparently the initial placement of the statues really lent itself to aggressive expansion. Because look at all these clusters, like, I think it took a really long time before I even had to move any houses out of this plateau. Yeah, I'm happy with this. This could... I might actually steal this concept of a city for like a D&D game. Hell yeah. Well, off to the next island. Yes, mysterious new island. I'll show you a mysterious new island. It's this one. Okay, so first of all, notice the no, you can't go back to old islands. They're gone forever. But notice the difference in available space. And also notice that I'm not going to get the option of placing down my own statues. There's only one statue on the map. And there's a gold mine right next to the statue, which kind of dictates that this should be like the place where mansions go. So where the fuck are the houses going to go? Look at this, brickyards for lumbers. I'm like, I don't even... Where would even the brickyards go? Should I go with... I don't know. Let's do lumber. I usually don't do lumber. But I feel like you could score some easy points at the beginning here. Like that. MB also has stuff about future generations, which has been guiding in court rulings about farmland. So now it's a lot more difficult to exploit it for built structures. I mean, it's better than nothing. What kind of horse shit is this? I get 2 breweries, but no hop fields? Guess we're making beer out of fucking chipped wood. Or wood chips. Ow. Which is good, because land that has properties good enough for farming is not a renewable resource. Yeah, it's not a renewable resource. Who would have thunk? I think that's gonna do it for this stream. I've been streaming for almost 2 hours now. And I was literally only gonna do a test to see if the frame rate was gonna continue being dog shit. If we want more of it, we'll have to wait for another Ice Age. Yeah, well, that's the kind of positive notes that I like to end the stream on. Yeah, I mean, I can't thank you enough for the work that you're doing. No. Don't apologize for it. No need to. I'm just being facetious. So here are the calls to action for the last few minutes of the video. Because I'm going to be uploading this to YouTube. where I have a stream archive, because the streams, like the videos on demand, the VODs, they're only stored for 14 days on Twitch, and I realized that some of them might actually be fun to have around. So at Cerulean Streams on YouTube, you can find all of the, well, archived streams. And whenever I get my hands on some reasonable video editing software, I'm gonna start putting up highlights too, because I really want to learn how to sort of take raw material and make something that is more like digestible as a YouTube video. Nonetheless, first of all, if you're seeing this, hi! Thank you for watching. It's been real nice hanging out with both of you, and anyone else who has dropped in to watch. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing, both to the YouTube channel and to follow me on Twitch. Pee pee poo poo. Sure, I'll take it. So yeah, especially if you... I was like, what the fuck are they doing? But yeah, so if you really want to do me a solid, follow me on Twitch. Not necessarily for any other reason than, number one, it genuinely makes me happy, and number two, if I reach 50 followers, I can start doing crowd control streams, where you as viewers get to control parts of the game. Specifically when it comes to Zelda on the SNES, which I really want to do. So, if you're on YouTube, head over to twitch.tv/cerulean_1 and click the heart. And if you're on YouTube watching this, click follow or subscribe or whatever. I guess smash a bell, I guess. And that's it for now. Thank you for a lovely evening. Yeah, it's been great. So, take care and good night.